Once you give it a grip, you can always release it a bit more. Yeah. So that's fine. If you push it over to release, that's right.
These two big rods here are the piston rods. These four smaller rods here operate the valves. Okay, these two operate the valves in reverse gear, and the two on the top operate the valves in forward gear.
And the Scott was to work from Aberdeen to Inverness. This delightful cross-country line provides more uninterrupted views. Here the Scott climbs towards the summit near Kennethmont. More open landscapes greet the Scott on the run from Keith to Elgin. This is the crossing of the River Spey. Next comes the final leg of the run from Elgin to Inverness.
This is an English Electric 1470 horsepower 12-cylinder that was put in as a replacement for the original Merleys engines that developed metal fatigue. Ah.
West Coast Railways, based at Carnforth, maintain a fleet of 47s, plus one Class 57 for charter work. Here, 57601 leads on a charter from Carnforth to Haverfordwest as it departs Shrewsbury on the 19th of March. At the rear is 47760, an active member of the company's 47 fleet. Next comes 47500 on a stock move from Southall to Carnforth on the 7th of April, with steam in the form of 70,000 Britannia at the rear.
Dave, assume that I'm a complete novice driver. Would you like to explain what each of the controls does to me, please?
Certainly, it's a good idea to know about these things,
indeed,
isn't it? Yeah. This big red lever here is the regulator. That takes steam out of the boiler and admits it to the steam chest, which supply the cylinders.
Right.
Okay. These controls up here are injectors to put water into the boiler. That's part of the fireman's province, but sometimes we get involved, you know.
Right, okay.
Right, now just gently ease it up. Gently. Go on. A bit more. No, shut a bit. That's it. That's it. Steam cocks are open, so it's got a latch there, look, where my foot is. If you just knock that down, then away it goes.
Not
that latch down. No, the latch.
Oh, the latch.
That's it. Right. That's shut the steam cock. Give it a little bit more steam. Shut the regulator slightly. You don't want to do much. That's it. And away we go. Normally we pick up the single line tablet from the signal box, but this time we've got it on board.
Okay.
And been told to go away. So there you go. That's it. A little bit more steam and away we go. That's a 5 mile an hour crossing, that one, so you can't be too quick across it.
We're not doing 10 anyway, so just keep going. The only reason that 10's on, they've been taking the platform coping stones back because the king wouldn't fit through with the gauge.
Yeah.
They had to re-gauge the platform here. 2.5 inches too wide it was. Keep going, keep power on. Keep going, power, keep power. That's it, keep power on.
Yeah.
Shut power off. Brake on. Now you spilt the tea.
There remains an amazing variety of power on the national network, if you know where to look. And of all the operators, Direct Rail Services offers the greatest variety, from Class 20s and 37s to the relatively recent Class 57s. There are other operators, including Colas with their 47s, and even DB Schenker Class 60s are some 20 years old. We'll now take a look at these veterans at work around the network in 2011.
2. That's it. Now, will you get her up to 25, please?
Are you building a shed here then?
Yes, this belongs a chap that's a maintenance supervisor at Crown Point, Norwich Depot.
But the 1970s saw a resurgence in specials. However, these were restricted to approved routes, with certain areas very much off limits, including many main lines and the third rail network. Shrewsbury was the centre of steam operations along the Welsh Marches. However, the routes available gradually increased in the 1990s and into the new century. Today's mainline fleet is as varied as ever. There are currently 2 Bullied Pacifics in mainline service. Battle of Britain class Tanmere is working a Cathedrals Express from Basingstoke to Lincoln on the 13th of April 2011. Network Rail maintains a fleet of 37s and 73s. 97302 and 97304 work a test train from Selhurst to Derby, with 73138 at the rear. Formerly 37170 and 217, these were refurbished for the use on the upgrade of the Cambrian lines. Network Rail also has a Class 73 in its fleet. 138 follows at the rear, and later leads on a run along the Midland Main Line from Selhurst to Derby on the 22nd of April 2011. At the rear is 31602, one of the 31s in the Network Rail fleet. Now it's over the summit and downgrade to Bridge of Ochee. Now the train heads away from Tulloch on the last leg of the run to Fort William.
push it all the way off, Nick, that's it. Then you release a bit and just roll up, you see, and then you can stop wherever you like. Lovely drill.
There we are, we're now dropping down so you can shut the regulator and coast for a bit. Here we are, we're over 200 foot higher than Sheringham now.
As much as that?
Oh yeah.